Good morning. This is 60 Seconds to Serenity with me, Gregg Hammond. And it is Sunday, November 26, 2017. I'm hopping on this morning to share with you the tools that will help you be able to respond to things in your daily life. And by responding, you're using a superpower, working towards a superpower of calmness of mind. So that gives us good news, because your life just got a whole lot easier using 60 Seconds to Serenity tools. We talk about the breath being the main thing that you're using, right? Where your breathing is controlled and it's slow and it's calm. And we're using the 60 seconds, just a small amount of time, 60 seconds, to shift our mind into a place of calm, serene mind. And that breath, you can push that out through your mouth while smiling. And remember, through your day, you want to keep smiling. Be conscious of that. If you need a little reminder, you can do something to leave that reminder where you'll remember it, right? Maybe put something on your hand where you'll see it, because you see your hands all day long. Calmness of mind gives you the ability to respond. And I was talking about responding to different things that happen, different things in my day where I know that, this is my opportunity to respond or to react. In my city, right? Good morning, Carol. I see Carol hopped on there. I see people popping in there from all over the United States and Canada. And I see Australia. And so this particular piece of paper you sometimes find in your car in the city. It is an award, right? For, you can look at it as an award. Some people, as soon as they see that, they start to react, and their emotional mind shifts, and they feel uncomfortable emotion and thought process. And at times when that starts to happen, you want to respond and stop that from happening. Be aware of what those first things are, those first thoughts that are coming into your mind. You want to track yourself. Part of the ability to respond as opposed to reacting comes from the ability to track yourself. Self-awareness, self-tracking. I spent a long time working with an incredible teacher. Hello, Dave. I see people hopping on from all over. It's nice to see people here on a Sunday morning. I decided to hop on a little bit later than usual. But this teacher, Tom Brown, his Field Guide to Wilderness Survival is packed with awareness building tools. This is a very old book. I've given away probably 150 or more of Tom Brown's books. He has a lot of them, but this basic one has a lot of interesting skills for being able to respond to your environment, be aware of your environment, and then respond to it in a wilderness situation. And I apply those to every aspect of my life. And what I'm teaching here, the 60 Seconds to Serenity, is how to use your breathing, the thing that you do all the time, breathing. Let me adjust this camera. Oh my, I think this is coming apart. I have a unique stand here. Got it. So the awareness tools to respond, right? what we're doing here is we're tying our physical breath in with affirmations and thoughts to shift us into that place of serenity, of calm mind, because having a calm mind in every situation is your ability to respond, helps your ability to respond, and have that superpower of the calm mind. The last chapter of James Allen's As a Man Thinketh has the chapter of Serenity, and it talks about the calmness of mind. I have it here on a card. But it talks about just how powerful that is, and how if you're using your awareness and you're paying attention, you'll see that lots of people react. They say things just out of a reaction. They do things just out of a reaction. And if you use the awareness of yourself, paying attention to what kind of thoughts are coming into your mind in a reaction or response, but most of the time reaction, if you catch that, if you pay attention, you'll see that it's not necessarily always the thing that you would think is the best. If you were really doing an outside observation of yourself, you might notice that the response is something that was taught or absorbed into your mind from your environment of things like people around you, friends, family, co-workers, all that environment where you hear people reacting or responding, most of the time reacting. There are a lot of ways that it comes into your mind through commercials or television shows. There were a lot of half-hour comedy sitcom shows and different types of television where you see that it's presented as comedy to respond what would be considered responding, what really isn't responding, it's just reacting with sarcastic remarks that are not as empowering. They're actually very disempowering to themselves or to another person in the situation, and that's just a reaction, and it's not a response. Because if you understood how powerful the things that you think, how powerful those are, or the things that you say, if you realize how powerful those are, you would reduce most of what you say, and you would narrow it down to a certain amount of positive things, such as, good news, your life just got a whole lot easier, and keep smiling, keep smiling, keep smiling. So in the response department, seeing one of these on your windshield means that you've received a parking violation and that money is due. What kind of reaction do you have? A lot of people react and get upset and start to think about how this happened, or all the reasons that how they could have prevented it. The fact is, in this situation, that's what's there, and all you can do now is respond. And if you respond with calmness of mind, what you're going to push out from yourself is calmness, and that's what's going to come back. And you hear this talked about, many teachers talking about what's being sent out of you on a vibrational level from your thinking. And if you look at the way that magnets work and energy fields, you can see that. You can see how that works. Magnets are a good example just out there in nature, in our environment, our surrounding area. But we don't see it with our physical eyes here. And so you don't notice that that's what's happening, as you might feel it, but you don't really see that that's what's happening as you're sending that out. So your ability to respond is very, very important over react. as opposed to the reacting. And something like this is one of those things that most people react to. And my response is, congratulations to me, I've received a ticket. And if I received a ticket, that means that this money, the money to pay this, and more is coming to me. And that's a very interesting response compared to what a lot of people allow themselves to do, or have not even been aware of their reaction. You know, it's just an automatic reaction of, oh, not this. Oh, great, you know. And then there's a saying, oh, it comes in threes. I've heard that one before, and that's only true depending on how you want to classify it, and if you're looking to classify it, you sure can. But guess what comes in 1 millions? Good news comes in 1 millions, and you can find that, right? How about a little bit of response chimes? If you have a way to get chimes, it's kind of a cool thing for you to have around as you're doing your 60 seconds to Serenity. I play them a little different every time, just because you have that ability to do that. It's a way to respond to your environment, is to look at things a little bit differently than you did before. The other day I was talking about the response to finding out that somebody had broken into my car and taken a lot of things. And I was looking at it from a perspective of gratitude. Very grateful that somebody got into my car and took the things out of there. As I went through, as I went through thinking about what they took, it gave me the opportunity to go through and do that inventory and think about being prepared. I'm like, wow, what an amazing thing. It's not even really the first of, deep winter, and I'm having to think about my roadside emergency kit that had stuff for deep winter here where I am. And wow, what an amazing opportunity for me to get on here and talk to everybody about what's in that roadside emergency kit so that you can be prepared. A thermal blanket of some kind, a wool blanket, wool, because wool, here's a wool sweater, this will retain the heat, your body heat will stay inside of anything that's wool, even when it gets wet. So even when it's damp from snow or damp from rain or from sweating or whatever it might be, the wool will keep you warm unless you have the cotton. Right now I have cotton underneath. The cotton is what's considered death cloth. If you are in cooler temperatures, it could be 45 degrees outside, the wind blowing, and if you have a damp cloth shirt or something cotton, that's damp cotton. If you have damp cotton on you, it's going to bring your body temperature down. You can go into hypothermia without it even being freezing, because you've exposed yourself to wind and the dampness of the cotton holding it against your skin. A lot of people don't know that. They call the cotton death cloth. And then wool is going to retain that heat. And it's the opposite if you're in extremely hot environments. I grew up in the islands watching sunrise and sunset, and working through the day in the heat, the temperature skyrockets up from the very cool 75 degrees up to well over 100. And the thing that would keep me cool during the day was the cotton, wearing a white cotton t-shirt, allowing it to get wet and then allowing it to stay wet all day, and that kept that coolness, as much of the cool temperature on my skin, and kept me cooler than I would be if I didn't have it on. Some people would say, oh, I got to take my shirt off because that's going to make me feel hotter, and it actually cools you off. So to wear long sleeve cotton in a very hot environment keeps you cool. To wear nice wool in the cold will keep you warm and save your life. So those are important tips, and that all came out of me thinking, wow, fantastic, someone has broken into my car and taken those things out of there. And as I go through the list, I'm thinking, I also had the emergency, spotlight. I had a lot of different things that I hadn't thought about being in there, and I'm like, this is fantastic. I get to, in my adventure of looking to replace those things and wanting to do that soon, even though I don't have any snow or anything like that, it's always good to be able to be prepared and put that in. And have that in your car, right? Put that together. Wow, what an amazing opportunity it is coming from this situation where I will now get to meet a lot of people that I probably wouldn't have met before, and I can talk to them about cool things. And one of those is the Global Jam for Peace. And so, that's, if you would like to have a magnet, I can send you a magnet. Just private message me your mailing address where you would like that mailed, and I will do the duty of sending these to you. And you can be thankful to the sponsors who have made donations online to the Global Jam for Peace at theglobaljamforpeace.com. You can be grateful to those people, respond with love, sending love to them, and or if you'd like to make a contribution, you can do that right there. So the response ability comes from using the calm breath and tying in great affirmations like, I am healthy, I am happy, I am helpful, I live in paradise, because everywhere I go is paradise. Because I am responding to my environment and looking at it in that paradise mindset. And I also put the self-empowering. My memory is very good, and my heart is always smiling. My memory is very good because it's just an example. I hear people say, they make a disempowering statement about their memory, saying something like they don't have a good memory, or that they lose things. And I'm saying, use an empowering things and say, I always know where everything is. And not even focusing on anything that might be a negative. I'm going to have to hop off of here soon, so I'm going to jump to a few things quickly. Gratitude list. Remember 10 things you're grateful for. I know that here in the U.S. we've had our Thanksgiving holiday, a day when people make a list of things they're grateful for and think about that, and that should be your daily routine every single day. It will shift your life and totally change every hour of your day if you're thinking about things you're grateful for. Here's I had to pop this list up there. I write out mine, and I write it with a non-dominant hand. Talking about non-dominant hand, we've been doing an exercise. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, I have seen that 3 people in the UK have hopped on here in the last 5 minutes, which is awesome. Welcome. And I see 2 more people in Canada. Welcome. So we're talking about non-dominant hand exercise. You're writing with your non-dominant hand. If you're right-handed and you usually write right-handed, then write with your left. And if you write with your left, use your right hand to write these out. What I'm writing here is my name, first and last. You'll notice that I've changed the format here. I've got the day of the week, the month, the day of the month on the calendar, the year, sunrise and sunset, the temperature, and a little description of what it might be outside. Here is what I had before. I was writing them out like this. Now, if you're just getting started, just write your name. And then the next thing that you add is the day of the week. The next thing you can add is the month. And then you can add in, and this is day by day. You just do a little bit, right? Write out your name for first couple times, print it, and then go through and do all those extra things that you want to add in there. And put it in a notebook where you can see it, so you can see the progression, and you can look back at your progress. And look at, like, take a look at over 30 days, excuse me, over 30 days, take a look and watch how much it changes as you add that in, and how much better your handwriting will change, how much it will improve if you're doing this every single day. You want to be consistent because repetition is so important to making progress on things. No matter whether you're playing an instrument or whether you're trying to improve your life by using 60 seconds to serenity. So that is today's 60-second serenity, just some review and updates on stuff for you. I'm here every day, every morning. I hop on and share the tools of 60 seconds to serenity and keep adding more for you. So if you've enjoyed this and this is the first time you're hopping on, check the timeline, check my timeline here, and go through and watch some of the other ones. There's a lot of very valuable information that I'm sharing as my way of giving back, because I've had amazing teachers who have helped me shift my life and go from very different circumstances to the circumstances that I live in now, which are amazing. My life is amazing, and it continually gets better. And I'm extremely grateful for that. So part of my way of giving back is to do 60 seconds to serenity, a free morning video lesson to help you remember that responding helps you keep the calmness of mind, and calmness of mind is a superpower, especially with today's social media. You see that. People just react. And looking back, so much more empowering to respond and to keep a positive attitude, and to keep your positive attitude, putting a concentric ring out for a positive attitude for everybody else. So I will see you tomorrow. Peace, love, and music. Happy Sunday.